Hey guys, what's up? I'm Baltazar from Baltazar Guitar, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to play People Say by Portugal the Man. Oh, hey guys! Okay, so the way People Say goes is that it starts out with a short intro, goes into a verse, goes into a chorus, then goes to a short bridge, goes back to a verse, to another chorus, then back to another bridge, then to a verse, a chorus, and the final chorus repeats itself a few times before it ends. That's the order that I'll be teaching it to you today. Okay, so I've broken up the intro into 4 separate parts. The first part goes like this. You hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret of the 6th string, which sounds like this. Then you hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret of the 5th string, and then you pull off back to the 3rd fret, which sounds like this. You then slide from the 5th fret of the 4th string to the 7th fret of the 4th string, which sounds like this. And then you pluck that and then pull off to the 3rd string again. So the whole first part of the intro sounds like this. The second part sounds like this. What I'm doing here is that I'm playing the 3rd fret of the 5th string twice, then hammering on to the 5th fret of the 5th string, and sliding up to the 7th fret of the 5th string, which sounds like this. I then play the 5th fret of the 4th string and play the 7th fret of the 4th string, which sounds like this. I then hammer on from the 5th fret to the 7th fret of the 4th string and then play the 5th fret of the 3rd string, which sounds like this. I then bend the 7th fret of the 3rd string up 3 times and then pull off back to the 5th fret. So that sounds like this. That second part sounds like this. The third part goes like this. You play this by hammering on from the 7th fret of the 3rd string to the 9th fret of the 3rd string, and then playing the 8th fret of the 2nd string. You do that twice, which would sound like this. And then you pull off from the 9th fret to the 7th fret of the 3rd string, and then slide back to the 5th fret of the 3rd string. So again, that whole part would sound like this. The 4th and final part sounds like this. What I'm doing here is that I'm hammering on from the 3rd to the 5th fret of the 5th string. I then hammer on from the 5th to the 7th frets of the 4th string. I then play the 5th fret of the 3rd string. I then bend the 7th fret up once and pull off to the 5th fret of the 3rd string. I'll play the intro once so you guys can see what it sounds like. You then start playing the verse. Okay guys, so the first verse and the second verse and the third verse all have the same chord progression. It goes from a C chord to a G chord to a D minor chord to an A minor chord. And the part that goes from the D minor to the A minor chords is repeated 3 times. So let me play that whole thing real quick for you so you guys can see how it goes. That is repeated for every single verse in the song. So the chord progression for the chorus goes A minor to an E to an F chord to a quick C to an A minor to a D minor, then to a G, then to a C. Okay, so you play the chorus twice, and when you go back to play it again, you go from a C chord to a G chord to an A minor chord, and you start over. Only this time, instead of going to the G after the D minor chord, you keep on playing the D minor. You play that D minor chord for about 2 measures of 16th notes, so it would go 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Okay guys, now I'm going to play the chorus as a whole so that you guys can see how it's played. Okay, so for the first bridge, you just go from a C to a G to a D minor chord. You then play the same chords again, this time playing the C chord and pulling off and hammering on the first finger from the first fret of the second string, which would sound like this. You then play the C to the G to the A minor, and then you hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret of the 6th string. You then hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret of the 5th string, and then pull back off to the 3rd fret of the 5th string. You then play the 5th fret of the 4th string, slide it up to the 7th fret, play the 7th fret once, and then pull it off to the 5th string. That whole part sounds like this. The same as the intro. Okay, I'll now play the first bridge as a whole for you. From there you go on to the verse. I will now teach you the second bridge. Okay, so I'll play the second bridge for you. As you can see, that's almost identical to the intro. The only difference is that instead of playing this little part, you don't play that, you just go straight to the 3rd fret of the 5th string. So you play this part from the intro. Instead of going up to the 7th fret, you bend the 7th fret of the 3rd string up once, bend it back down, and then pull it off to the 3rd fret, which would sound like this. You then slide the 7th fret up to the 9th fret, and play the 8th fret of the 2nd string and the 10th fret of the 2nd string. You then play the 8th fret of the 2nd string once more. Then you pull off from the 9th fret to the 7th fret, and then play the 5th fret of the 3rd string once more. That whole part looks like this. Let me play the second bridge for you guys once more. That leads straight into the other verse. Okay, so this is how the song ends. You play an A minor, an E, an F chord, and a C. And you repeat that about 4 times. Third time, you end it like this. You play the same part. just that you then go to the A minor chord, the D minor chord, the G chord, and then end it with a C chord. It goes like this. And that's the end of the song. Okay guys, so just to recap, the way the song goes is that you go from an intro to a verse to a chorus, the first bridge to another verse to another chorus, the second bridge to another verse to another chorus. You then go to the repeating end part, and that tops off the song. Okay guys, that's how you play Portugal a Man's People Say. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and I'll have many more videos coming your way. It's a Stratocaster. It's recording?